Then, my darling, please wait for me till then. No matter when it will be, one day I know we'll be back again. Please wait till then. Our dreams will live though we are apart. Our love, I know we'll live in our hearts till then. When all the world will be free, please wait for me. Although there are oceans we must cross and mountains that we must climb, I know every game must have a loss. So pray that our loss is nothing but time. Till then, let's dream of what there will be. Till then, we'll call on each memory. Till then, when I will hold you again, please wait till then. Although there are oceans we must cross and mountains that we must climb, I know every game must have a loss. So pray that our loss is nothing but time. Till then, let's dream of what there will be. Till then, we'll call on each memory. Till then, when I will hold you again, please wait till then.
And we are still the nation that has overcome great fears and improbable odds. If we act with the urgency and seriousness that this moment requires, I know that we can do it again. That is why I have moved quickly to work with my economic team and leaders of both parties on an American recovery and reinvestment plan that will immediately jumpstart job creation and long-term growth. It's a plan that represents not just new policy, but a whole new approach to meeting our most urgent challenges. For if we hope to end this crisis, we must end the culture of anything goes that helped create it. And this change must begin in Washington. It's time to trade old habits for a new spirit of responsibility. It's time to finally change the ways of Washington so that we can set a new and better course for America. There is no doubt that the cost of this plan will be considerable. It will certainly add to the budget deficit in the short term. But equally certain are the consequences of doing too little or nothing at all. For that will lead to an even greater deficit of jobs, incomes, and confidence in our economy. It is true that we cannot depend on government alone to create jobs or long-term growth. But at this particular moment, only government can provide the short-term boost necessary to lift us from a recession this deep and severe. Only government can break the cycle that are crippling our economy, where a lack of spending leads to lost jobs, which leads to even less spending, where an inability to lend and borrow stops growth and leads to even less credit. That's why we need to act boldly and act now to reverse these cycles. That's why we need to put money in the pockets of the American people, create new jobs, and invest in our future. That's why we need to restart the flow of credit and restore the rules of the road that will ensure a crisis like this never happens again. This plan must begin today. A plan I am confident will save or create at least 3 million jobs over the next few years. It's not just another public works program. It's a plan that recognizes both the paradox and promise of this moment. The fact that there are millions of Americans trying to find work, even as all around the country there's so much work to be done. And that's why we'll invest in priorities like energy and education, healthcare, and a new infrastructure that are necessary to keep us strong and competitive in the 21st century. That's why the overwhelming majority of the jobs created will be in the private sector, while our plan will save the public sector jobs of teachers, police officers, firefighters, and others who provide vital services. To finally spark the creation of a clean energy economy, we will double the production of alternative energy in the next 3 years. We will modernize more than 75% of federal buildings and improve the energy efficiency of 2 million American homes, saving consumers and taxpayers billions on our energy bills. In the process, we will put Americans to work in new jobs that pay well and can't be outsourced. Jobs building solar panels and wind turbines, constructing fuel-efficient cars and buildings, and developing the new energy technologies that will lead to even more jobs, more savings, and a cleaner, safer planet in the bargain.
To the anxiety over jobs in this country, on that front, he's got his work cut out for him. The official unemployment rate hovers around 10%, but then there's real life, the everyday reality in this country. As John Yang reports tonight from Chicago, the official numbers hardly tell the whole story when it comes to this job market.
When Wanda Whitson lost her job as head of corporate communications for a major media company in Boston last March, she moved, hoping it would be easier to find a new one in Chicago. So far, nothing.
There are days when it's very tough to get out of bed, but you have to make yourself do that.
Like so many others, Whitson's used up her state unemployment benefits and relies on emergency federal benefits. A record 6.1 million Americans have been out of work more than 6 months, more than double the number who'd been jobless that long a year ago.
We've never seen anything like that before. People right now who are becoming unemployed are just getting stuck in unemployment for long periods.
As bad as the national unemployment rate is, analysts say it doesn't even begin to show how bleak things really are.
Earlier this month, the government reported that 15.3 million Americans were unemployed and that the unemployment rate was 10%. But that doesn't count the 9.2 million working part-time because they can't find full-time jobs, or the 1.5 million who hadn't looked for work in the previous month, or the 929,000 who were so discouraged they've given up looking. That's a total of 26.9 million people without a full-time job, 17.3% of the workforce.
The real question is, how long will it be before unemployment gets back to anywhere near the normal level of, say, 5%? I don't think we're going to be in that range for at least until 2012, perhaps even 2013.
That's a major challenge for President Obama and the Democrats in Congress. In the new NBC News Wall Street Journal poll, 53% disapproved of the government's response to the financial crisis. As her job search nears its 11th month, Wanda Whitson focuses on staying positive.
There are jobs out there, so someday one of those
Mission to spend a few years and a lot of taxpayer money to tell us what's going on in our economy. We don't need a commissioner to tell us gas prices are high or that you can't pay your bills. We don't need a commission to tell us that you're losing your jobs. We don't need a commission to study this crisis. You don't need somebody to write a report to tell you that unemployment is tough up here in northern New Mexico, or that unemployment is bad on Indian country. You don't need a report for that. What you need is a president who will solve it, and that's the kind of president I intend to be.